Welcome back, everybody. It's time to get ourselves into our last WPC match for tonight. There's still plenty of Dota going on tonight. Just a bit of a recap of what we've done as well as what's going on. We've had three two-game series in the WPC. We start off with LGD versus DK. That's been the highlight of tonight so far, at least for me casting that. We had IG versus Arenda. Now our last series, IG versus Newbee here on BTS. Following this, we get ourselves into the inaugural. We've got MVP Phoenix taking on Maneski in our last qualifier spot. But also, going on over on the BTS2 stream, we've got MPGL action coming your way. Titan and Arrow just finished a close best of 3, and coming up soon, Scythe will be taking on First Departure. So lots of SEA, Chinese, Asian Dota action, all at your doorstep on Beyond the Summit. BTS1 and BTS2, but right now, right here, Game 2 of Newbee versus Invictus Gaming. I'm not alone, though, for this game. I will be joined once again by Baseskip. Are you ready for Game 2, our last game of today?
I am excited. How about you, Guts?
I'm pretty excited. It's IG. Even games like that, like I see people like snoozing away in the chat, like whatever the snooze face is, like spamming it away.
Resident Sleeper.
Yeah, Resident Sleeper. But for me, I still like really enjoy those games. Like those stalemates where neither team can really do much and the smallest things make the difference. Like those are the kind of Dota games which I love. So I'm glad we got that game.
Yeah, though I wouldn't mind balancing it out with something a little bit more action-packed for the second match. And well, I'm liking the picks a lot so far, at least as far as that's concerned. And Fish Lady is gone, so
Fish Lady?
The chat can. Yeah.
Who's Fish Lady?
Well, Naga Siren.
Oh yeah, it was banned on the second stage as well. I think that was IG's way of dealing with the Lycan. Like they knew the pushes could be dealt with using that, but this time around they get the Nature's Prophet, which I don't even want to say it's going to be YYF's hero, because IG have run this for Luo in the past. They mix things up if they need to. Like, they'll put YYF in an offensive tri lane and do a safe lane Prophet. They'll put YYF in a farming Lifestealer and put Luo on the Prophet. So, it's not necessarily going to be YYF's hero, though generally speaking, it would be.
Yeah, and it can set them up nicely for a potential aggressive tri lane here as well if they're feeling particularly confident. Like Sand King is good when you've got a tri lane that's kind of winning on paper, but if your tri lane is a little bit behind and he's never going to be able to get in for the burst strikes, then he can end up being a little bit of a liability tri lane versus tri lane. And there's always that Nature's Prophet gets 6, throws the Nature's Wrath, and just obliterates the tri lane, even if it's been a stalemate up until that point. So IG have that small opportunity for themselves here. Also, if the Mirana isn't going to be a one-position farmer, then there's plenty of heroes that could match up pretty well against her in a 1v1. So I think things may be looking good for IG to go aggressive. I don't know if they've been running many aggro tri-lanes of late, though. It's hard to get a handle on what a lot of teams are doing in China, just because it doesn't feel like we have that many games going on. Like, WPC is pretty much it, and nothing else is scheduled.
To me, the big difference between the Western and Eastern scene, like, sure, WPC is, like, big prize pool, lots of games, but it's the like, there's never overlapping tournaments. Like, they have WPC, which is 4 or 5 days a week. Then ECL is maybe a couple days a week, but ECL is never on the same days as WPC. And there's also another Chinese tournament which just started called, like, WVW, which is sometimes, it's on the same days as ECL, not actually overlapping with ECL. But again, there's never overlapping games. You look at the Western scene, you'll have 3, 4 big games between, like, Alliance, Empires, EGs, Cloud9s, Liquids, all overlapping at once. Like you'll have a choice of 3 different matches on like Join Dota, BTS, D2L, Star Ladder, and you get to choose which of those games to watch. In China, it's only ever one match on at any time. So it's definitely like a fraction of the Dota that you get in the Western scene.
Yeah, and I think the other thing as well is looking at it from the perspective of an individual team. Like if you go back and look at the match history for only one team, sure there feels like there's enough games going on, but some of these teams are only getting to play an official match like once a week, maybe 2 best of 3s a week, and I'm sure that they're otherwise training and practicing and getting themselves sorted out, but there's just less official games going on, and scrims don't carry nearly as much weight, as even when there's something small in the line like WPC where it's just a group stage.
Yeah, the Chinese teams are more disciplined with just training in general. I feel that's where they can actually still perform even under those conditions, whereas like I feel Western teams do so well and actually caught up to the Chinese and won TI3 and stuff because they played so many matches and tournaments. Like that actually worked in their favor, whereas for Chinese teams I think it's less essential. And even like Southeast Asian teams, I think it's quite essential for them to play lots of matches. I think that's where some of the Southeast Asian teams have been struggling, but you look at Titan, they're playing in WPC, but they were in China for like a week and played all their matches in 1 week. Then they go back to Malaysia and play a ton of online tournaments. So I think Titan are going to improve very quickly I mean, I think they have already improved very quickly just because of the heavy match schedule for them.
Yeah, I think it's a shame for Titan that the big ticket games for them were against DK and IG with stand-ins, if I
Yeah.
remember correctly.
Well,
Like
they lost to
IG,
DK. That was
yeah.
probably the sadder part about that.
Well, yeah, but there's also, I mean, as much as Sansheng is a fantastic player and all of that, but IG changing their roster a little bit, you can always say, well, maybe that had an impact for them in their series. And I think Titan would have liked to have matched up against the full strength of
That's
every
true.
team while they were over there.
And I think that's where, like, sure they lost against, sure they like beat IG and got some points, but it was more about the practice and the improvement there. And that's where they would have rather have lost to DK with their full five, because that match they lost was like a very unusual, like there was some unusual games where it didn't really feel like DK were a team. Like there were a bunch of really skilled individual players doing individual things, and they won because of that. But for Titan, it wasn't like actual, like necessarily good match experience. Maybe I don't know.
And wow, IG with an Abaddon pickup here.
Ah, you're spoiling for the stream.
I'm spoiling, dang it. I've got. Yeah.
I spoiled the Meepo pick earlier today. I couldn't. As soon as I saw the Meepo, I just freaked out. I was like, "What? Oh my gosh, we got a Meepo!" And I was like, "Wait, too soon."
Yeah, my bad.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, okay. I'll mute the game. I'll put the stream up, and that'll be the drafting board. But
yeah. Yeah, we haven't talked too much about these drafts. So Newbee, Sanking Mirana. Mirana looks like it may be a support unless they run it solo mid. As for IG, they go Prophet, Dazzle, Luna, Abaddon. They've got a really strong 5-man just deathball push, which I feel is the name of the game for them. For Newbee, it's going to be defending those pushes.
Yeah, I really want to see what IG ban here, because it could be core Mirana and core Morphling, and then just looking for a final support. And I think yeah, that's what we have drawn up at the moment on the little diagram. But
support Mirana.
Yeah.
I would have liked them to ban something like a Brewmaster even. Like I think a Brewmaster is kind of a good hero against these 5-man pushes in general. Like because you can actually initiate in and throw someone like the Abaddon up in the air and then deal with other heroes. But we haven't seen much Brewmaster in some time in China, although it was a fairly popular pick for a while.
Yeah, it was actually very popular coming into this patch. I think it was I think LGD and IG were running quite a bit of it. Other teams like dabbled with it, but those are the two that really stand out in my mind as far as picking up the brew.
Well, we'll find out soon enough where this Mirana... The problem is, for Newbee have to commit. They don't know who this solo mid hero is for IG, and they're going to go Chen, so that puts Mirana mid. So IG now know Mirana mid. I don't think that really affects what they want to pick for Ferrari too much.
Spoilers, gods, come on.
Or oh, bloody hell. I didn't normally I commit to like covering up my Dota 2, which I didn't actually do. I need to go back to that. Alright. Yeah. My Dota 2's covered. It's covered by a picture of Chuan's face, actually.
Ah, nice. Is it the Enchantress Photoshop? That one's great.
No, I took a screenshot of the Chinese stream earlier when I was posting a social media post, and it was Chuan's face, and now I still have that up on my MS Paint. So I've got Chuan's face staring at me, saying, "Why would you spoil pics to the stream?"
Yeah. So it looks like Faith actually thought that it was going to end up being a support Mirana, since he actually banned out the Storm Spirit, but it's actually going to end up being a core. It looks like with that Chen grab.
So, jungle Chen, Banana's hero, I imagine, since he's kind of the Chinese jungle expert next to Chuan, and we'll have to see what IG get for their solo mid here. I don't think that really matters too much for him.
Something like a DK could be pretty good.
Yeah, I
gives
think they
them a stun, gives them more push.
They could even go Brewmaster themselves, I think, if they really wanted to.
Yeah, they are a little bit light on initiation, is the other thing. Like, they've got really nice push if they turn up and they start sieging a tower. But leading up the fights could be a little bit difficult. So yes, something along the lines of a DK could work out really nicely here.
Alright, we'll find out soon enough. And DK obviously gives a lot more pushing power as well. The ulti form, pretty handy there. So we'll see what it might be. As for Newbee, the Chen going to be jungling away, putting the Sanking as the other support. This is it kind of makes Sanking... I mean, he can still be a 4-position hero with Chen playing the hard support. But it does make it a lot harder for Sanking to find farm and stack jungle. We'll see an Alchemist last pick for IG. I like this. Alchemist is still a pretty good hero, especially as a mid. I think he's most viable as a mid hero currently. And Vici Gaming are the big team pushing solo mid Alchemist still.
Yeah, gives them a core, gives them the little bit of initiation that we felt that they were lacking, and I guess I didn't really need the push of the Dragon Knight so much. Like the Alchemist gives them more teamfight and more initiation, not quite so much push, but I don't think they they necessarily needed it. And they've also got the Prophet as well, which is worth mentioning. So they've pretty much got a full tricore going on right now.
It gives them a actual proper fast mech buyer as well. Like if they go DK, they've got no one to buy the mech except the support or the Prophet. But Prophet you generally don't want going mech, and supports take too long to farm a mech. Here, like Alchemist can get a sub 10-minute mech, which is kind of ideal for when you start pushing down those towers.
Yeah, and I think this is an Orchid game for the Nature's Prophet. Actually, like they're, as far as killing the Morphling is concerned, they don't really have a whole lot. Yep. So I think an Orchid could be a great way to deal with that. And also fantastic to throw on the Darkseer or the Sand King or list any of Newbee's heroes, and Orchid is just a great pickup.
All right, we'll get things underway here. IG going very aggressive through the enemy jungle here. They do spot each other out there. Lua was leading the charge. Probably the right hero to have in front because of that 330 base movement speed. So he can get away from any kind of tricky positions with ease. And we'll introduce our two teams. On the Radiant side, it will be Team Invictus Gaming. We've got Luo on the Luna. It looks like going offensive trialing with the Chuan, Abaddon, Faith on the Dazzle. Solo mid's going to be Ferrari 430 on the Alchemist. And then finally, in the safe lane solo, YYF is going to be playing the Nature's Prophet for IG.
The battle begins.
Yeah, and over on Team Newbee, we've got Xiao heading towards the offlane on the Darkseer. Hao is actually going to be handling mid as the Morph. We've got Banana on his Chen. King J, this game, is going to be on the Sand King, and Mu is going to be handling the safe lane Mirana. And Banana, is he going to start off in his own jungle, or is he going to try and make his way bot to put some pressure on the Nature's Prophet? They know that the aggressive trialing is happening, otherwise IG wouldn't have 5-manned top more than likely if they weren't going to end up going aggro. But yeah, looks like he is going to start off in his own jungle here and maybe try and fight the tri-lane, or maybe just try and put a little bit of pressure on mid. The nature of the Alchemist mid is that the lane is going to be pushed out quite a bit, so it gives the Chen some opportunities to get in and maybe find a gank.
Yeah. The good news is IG didn't get super anti-Chen. Like, they could have walked into this dire jungle and blocked, like, the big camps, really shut down his jungle completely, but they just got a little bit of vision with this Observer Ward. So they'll maybe be able to spot out a smoke with this, but worst case scenario, they just know when he's not in that area in general. And if he's not there, he may well be ganking either top or mid lane with that smoke. So it gives them some just good general information.
Yeah, and this is almost better than warding up all of his camps and driving him into the other jungle, because as soon as you drive him into the other jungle, you have no idea what he's doing whatsoever, and that becomes a lot scarier for the solos. So just kind of letting Banana do his own thing, secure his farm, but knowing where he is at all times, I think is almost better for IG here.
Yep. Well, he'll keep on farming away in these big camps. He gets himself a second creep. He's going to keep on. I think Chen Banana's just happy to farm, at least get maybe level 3, have the 2 points in Test of Faith before he goes for a gank. Lua doing a lot of harass on King J at top lane. King J did go for the boots first, but he's going to be forced to use his last Tengo. Sand King very prone to taking a lot of damage here, and with just level 1, he doesn't have any points in Sandstorm yet. And there is a Sentry Ward on Faith if he tries to use that Sandstorm as well for any survivability.
Yeah, and it's really smart for Luo to play up so aggressively. There's just absolutely no chance that he dies so long as Faith and Sean are backing him up. So he can be really aggressive. Pick up a Bassi, probably just straight into early boots and continue fighting this tri lane.
Well, there's the Chen smoke. He's actually going all the way towards bottom, but Nature's Prophet full HP does have a TP out, so I don't know if this is the easiest kill to get, unless Xiao 8 kind of juices him up, starts getting him nice and low, and the Treants are actually blocking Xiao 8 from coming in, so for now, this is not going to be that viable of a kill, I want to say. We'll see. Have to wait and see what Xiao 8 looks to do next once he finishes creepscaping, but Xiao 8's already a bit low. Chen's only got an ensnare, and sure, they can stop the Prophet from TPing away, but the question is, can they actually do enough damage to kill him?
Yeah, and the longer this goes on, the more and more suspicious YYF gets that Chen is coming down to gank him.
Yeah, well, he sees it now. He may just strip TP. He needs to TP fast, and it looks like he'll get out. TP's all... he went top, in fact. Okay, so he knows Chen's not top, and he says, look, we got Bassering. Let's go for a fast tower. Aggressive decision from YYF. Unfortunately, he doesn't have mana to use Treants. He's going to get clarityed up by the Dazzle, though, so that'll help him out a bit. And Sand King, he's got to be careful. Lucent Beam comes in, and they're just going to creep skip here. They've got the Shadow Wave to heal themselves back up, so I think we may see just tier 1 towers being traded here. Banana going to help push the bottom tower, and this 4-man IG squad will push top.
Yeah, IG, do they have... Okay, no TPs on anybody else aside from the Abaddon, so probably not going to be able to stop this tier 1 bot going down.
No. Why? I think more likely we look towards Newbee, maybe even stopping this push top coming. Has anyone got it? They need a Darkseer TP, which Darkseer's got no mana, no HP, so that's not going to happen. Tier 1 will go down one way or another. Moo wants to go for the deny. He tries to sneak it in. He gets the leap out just in time, and Luna going to get the last hit. Meanwhile, bottom Chen getting the last hit for that tower, so... I think this is okay for Newbee, though. They force IG to bring 4 heroes to get the tower, which means those 4 heroes are splitting experience and not leveling as fast as Newbee are. I mean, I think if you look at the experience, Newbee probably slightly... Yeah, Newbee had 1k experience ahead early on because IG have 4 heroes in the same lane.
Yeah, and I think this is way more valuable for Newbee. Just the Darkseer can set up shop in the Radiant jungle, so he can just non-stop farm these 3 camps and the lane. And also with the tier 1 going down top, it's almost not that bad for Moo because now he has more space to work with, and he can just try and get the lane to pull all the way back to his tier 2 where he knows he's going to be very safe. So I think Newbee get the better of the exchange just in terms of what their lineup does with the position on the map.
Yep. Well, we got this does give some safe farm for YYF. He wants to just probably hit his level 6 now, so we can have the Wrath of Nature coming in, gets his 3rd point in the Treants, and he's ready to TP to lanes, but at the same time, if more likely he wants to stay bottom, get this next little bit of farm up, and just make sure Zhao Wei isn't having free reign over bottom. Zhao Wei did go Arcane Boot, so no Soul Ring, straight into an Arcanes. This is just going to be more a team-based item, especially when your Sand King rushes Blinks before Arcanes in the current metagame with how Sand King's played. This fast Arcanes does help out his team quite a lot.
Yeah, and I think the Soul Ring is much more of a value pickup. If he can get away with it, especially with that fast tier 1, no reason not to go for the Arcane Boots here.
Zhao playing very aggressive here. He's actually going to take a few tower hits. This is dangerous. He gets sprouted up. He's got no mana for a TP. Here comes a counter gank. It's coming from Ferrari. This is going to be a dead Zhao Wei. That was a mistake. He played way too aggressive there. And when you're that far out, it's very easy for Alchemist to rotate. That's not exactly... I mean, that's a pretty standard rotation.
What's he doing here? Okay, Hao's gonna come in and just make sure that he gets that safely. But yeah, that was a mistake. That. Yeah, that was I think a mistake. Well. Yeah, mistake in positioning, and then also like he walked into tower range, which I don't think he expected to do, and that was 3 extra shots that it managed to get off. Surge on King J mid, but no, Ferrari's not going to fall for that one. He's just hiding in the trees right now.
If he didn't take the tower hits, I think he was likely going to be okay. Or he could have just maybe TP'd out. That's the other thing. Like, he could have TP'd out much earlier, but then he panicked, didn't have mana. And, yeah, from there it just went downhill.
Yeah, and it should have been such easy farm for Zhao. Like, he throws an Ion Shell on the lane, lets it push out, gets some CS, goes into the jungle, cleans it up, and just gets some really nice farm. But that's going to set him back quite a bit.
Yeah. Well, just trying to be a bit too cute, Zhao 8, and he gets punished for it. Now we're going to see Sand King rotate towards the mid lane. Will block off the Ancients, something which Alchemists, especially on the Radiant side, commonly try and stack as well as farm. But so far, Ferrari, he's been content just in this mid lane doing his normal thing. Faith needs to, well, when you get the memo, you can't actually pull salves anymore to teammates. It's Ferrari holding on to the salve of Faith. They're going to go for a 2-man smoke, though, and that does not get spotted by this Observer Ward, I don't think.
No, if you look at Dire Vision, they don't have.
Yeah.
They don't have it.
They've got 2 wards near the mid lane, and neither of those is going to spot this rotation. They're going to walk right into the Sand King. This is a level 3 Sand King, though. King J. Sandstorm burrows back to the high ground. That's actually going to hit him as well as the Wrath of Nature. King J getting very low here, proper with the TP in. Nice gank there. There's Moo now in trouble. He's got a leap in. We'll probably have to use it as soon as possible. He wants to go up into these trees. One more right click, not going to come. Moo still could be in danger. Have they got any way to chew on through? It doesn't look like it. Treant's going to get summoned and still no vision. Morphling actually coming in for a counter kill. That's Nature's Prophet dead. Ferrari looking for the kill on Hao. Will get it. Arrow going to go flying. Not going to hit anything except a tree. And they know Mirana's still up there now. And if they just chuck acid there, Moo could almost go down. And they've actually got vision. There we go. They find Moo finally. Moo will go down to one more Lucent Beam. Sand King shows up. Are there going to be any buybacks here? It's a Darkseer TP. But I don't think you can fight this. They've got too much survivability here. With the Abaddon providing the extra kills, Xiaowei takes a ton of damage. Oh dear. IG just destroying Newbee under a tier 2 tower at 7 minutes into the game.
What is up with the lemming play from Newbee there? Like, one by one marching to their deaths.
They get a tier 2 bottom tower, but that doesn't seem like a very good trade. And it's exactly that. Lemmings going in one by one, and I don't know what Newbee were thinking. Zhao Wei is just, I think the game 1 has just rattled them. Like, that was a long, tense, stressful game 1, and they're coming back and just making some poorly calculated plays. Like, this has just been some questionable decision making from Newbee in game 2.
Yeah, and IG are just not backing off. They make their win here. They've got the Eclipse. Okay, not gonna work, but it's just gonna zone them off the tower, and they get the last hit on the tier 2.
Yeah, King J only just narrowly escapes, and like, sure, that's a whiffed Eclipse, but like, it's a tier 2 tower, and it's an Eclipse that they don't even really need right now. They're already coming out on top. It's not like this Eclipse timing is like, oh, they've got to use this Eclipse to get a kill. IG are ahead 5 kills to 1. The one thing that Newbee are getting is towers at bottom lane, but that's not really that big of a success for them. And now Lua rotates towards mid. He's got 1400 gold, and IG will push back this T1 now. Whoa, actually, maybe they're going to go on Hao. Hao's got no waveform for a couple of seconds. Alchemist will get the stun here on Hao. Does have a waveform, but needs to get to the low ground. Has to be careful not to use all his mana. He will get down to the river. Poison touch to follow. Couple of right clicks as well. Moonlight Shadow being used just to be on the safe side. I think Hao was okay there, but IG now going to look to pressure this T1 mid as well.
Yeah, and Jarrett's going to do his best to raise a bit of a ruckus top lane to see if he can get IG to back off and deal with him, but I just don't know if it's going to happen.
IG aren't having it. They want this tier 1. Morphling did get sent home, so he can actually TP back in. He's going to TP bottom, so they're not defending this. They're giving up the tier 1 mid tower just for Morphling to get a bit more farm. This Morphling is really behind, it looks like.
Dire's middle tower
just the Treads, Magic Wand, and what, Ring of Aquila? Yeah, he's got very little. Just your kind of standard early game items. It is 10-man sim, which is not where you'd expect Morphling to have much more, but his net worth is behind the Alchemist. Similar to the Luna, though.
Yeah, and I think so much of this as well is just how well IG, their cores scale with their first item compared to Newbee. Like if you BKB on the Luna, Mech on the Alchemist, and I guess whatever YYF is going to end up going for, he's just got a Midas at the moment. Those are all huge boosts in their teamfight effectiveness. Meanwhile, the Mirana and the Morphling are both just kind of building up little bits and pieces here and there. Nothing that really drastically alters the role that they play in this game. So I think IG are, like, their 5-man is gearing up just so much more quickly and so much better than Newbee's is right now.
Alright, well. For Newbee, they've got to smoke on the Sand King if they want to try to get roaming here. Sand King 1200 gold, so he's working towards that Blink Dagger rush. But he's just level 5 at the time being. Chen's actually done a decent... Chen's got a lot of farm, because he pushed the tier 1 bottom tower, and then I think the tier 2 got taken either by the Dire or even Chen last hit it. So Banana's sitting on 1400 gold all of a sudden with his boots and Bassi ring. And they are going to use the smoke. Look to head towards the top lane, but... Oh, Prophet. He's tipping into this one. He'll just Midas and hopefully back off. He'll actually spot them from the left side here, so unless they get a clean initiation with the lockdown here, this may not be that easy of a kill. It looks like YYF is already backing off. Oh, from the low ground, Sand Burrow Strike will be there, but the arrow, Triads, Micro, no. But Dazzle shows up, so he's got heals as well as Graves potentially there, and YYF will be just fine at this bottom, at the top lane. And another, like, that's one of those cases where Newbee try and go on him, and it's only one TP they force. Like, if IG TP 3-4 heroes there and you waste their time, it's worth it, but Luo remains calm, stays bottom lane, same for Chuan. It's just the Dazzle who had to TP in, so no real loss for IG.
Yeah, and Newbee spent quite a bit of time going for that one as well. And I wonder what Banana's going to go for here, since the Darkseer has actually ended up going for the mech. There's always this situation where I feel like if the Chant ends up going for a Force Staff and the Darkseer has a mech, I think like you would have been better off having the mech on the Chen and the Force Staff on the Darkseer. So I guess we'll see what he goes for. He is a little ways off a mech, and it looks like Xiaowei just wanted to have that one up right now, especially with the way that IG were playing for those last couple of minutes up on top lane. They were just non-stop 5-manning, and he wanted to have up anything that they could to be ready to take those fights.
Yep. Alrighty, well, we'll see what IG look to do next. They've taken out most of the tier 1 towers. There's still the tier 1 at bottom lane, so they may just look to swing multiple heroes bottom lane while YYF farms top, and he can always TP in. And the way they're positioned now with 4 in their own jungle, they can easily look to push Ham out of this bottom lane and go for this tier 1 tower push. I just don't think Newbee can teamfight. They haven't got any points in Wall of Replica, which makes it like, well, what have they actually got? No Epicenter, no Sand King Blink Dagger, which is the other big thing. Normally, like a slow Sand King Blink Dagger rush is like the 12-13 minutes, and this is looking like maybe a 15-minute blink from King J on the Sand King.
Yeah, it gets another stack here, so getting there, but yeah, like you said, there's still just a little ways off some of these items. Newbee do end up securing a tier 1 tower mid, so a little bit more gold. Gonna head over onto Hao, but again, his first item is going to be a Lincoln Sphere. That's going to help out with split pushing, and that's going to help out with survivability, but it's not really a big deal as far as team fights are concerned just yet.
Yep. Well, top lane, we'll see Mirana now looking to lead the charge here, but this is going to be a tier 1 bottom tower, definitely taken for IG. If they really want to defend top lane, they can, and that's what they're preparing for. Ferrari's leading the charge. He's already channeling a stun here. Stun will get tossed with an acid spray, and this is Xiao Wei in trouble. He's already used the mech here. Sankin going to burst back himself in. Luo shows up, has an eclipse. They've already brought down the Darkstone. I think King J going to go down as well. They get 2 easy kills and 7 kills to 1, 14 minutes in. Oh boy, this is a really bad start for Newbee.
Oh, and that Blink Dagger set back just that little bit further on the Sand King as well. That's a real shame for King J there.
Well, yeah, 1,650 gold, and we'll see Newbee. Yeah, in a tough spot. That's for sure. I just don't feel they have much comeback mechanic. Like, sure, you've got this carry Morphling who's going to have a Lincoln Sphere eventually, but it's not like Morphling's even free farming. If the game was going like this and Morphling was free farming away, I'd say, look, okay, this Morphling's going to have like a 17, 18 minute Lincolns. He'll then get his Ethereal Blade up, and it's going to be a decent game, but he's been not completely shut down. Like, he's farming well, but he's not farming well enough, I feel, to give Newbee like a huge even shot right now.
Yeah, he needs a while, and I think Newbee just needs to split push perfectly if they're going to have any kind of hope here. And we did talk about the difficulties in locking down this Morphling for IG, so let's see. Concoction charging up.
The problem is, apart from Hao, who actually split pushes. Like, they've got no other real good split pushes. Hao does have a replicate up if he needs to use it, and he'll just do that. Ferrari's waiting for him at the replicate. He's got a stun in 4 seconds. Hao may go down here. Dazzle's nearby as well. He's starting to morph to strength. He's got a waveform in a few seconds. He needs to throw this stun soon. Waves into the trees. Oh, the weave gave vision! That's clutch. You can TP out afterwards, though. Have they got... Oh, they got vision. Poison touch. Hal's dead. He's got no way out. The Sprout going to give more vision. Oh, what a play from IG. What a gank. That was just a thing of beauty. Hal's still alive for now. Is there going to be a send back? Banana's not done. He's trying to get the send back. Hao may get out of here. He gets pushed to the low ground. Is there damage enough? Roshan! He was winding up. He was so close with the wind up. Even though IG don't get the kill, that was still just a thing of beauty as they tried to kill him off there. That was some big plays. Unfortunately, for Newbee, he survives, and space is created for Mu to actually push the top tier 1. Not to mention Xiao Wei gets some farm and stuff at mid lane, so it's actually... Net result is not too bad for Newbee.
Yeah, a lot of space. That worked out really well. Banana, I think, is a little bit... Banana was like, why didn't you just waveform east? And then I could have sent you home, and none of that would have happened. Because he had to do the whole, like, oh, hey, guys, what's going on in the trees over there? Can I get, like, around here to get the send back? Oh, no, nope. That's okay.
In theory, you waveform TP. Like, that should just work. Like, I don't think he took into consideration the weave vision, which is where that backfired.
Yeah, it was a lot of little
99 times out of 100 that works, I would say.
Yeah, I would definitely agree
where,
on that one.
Dota mechanics are just like that. It's one of those moments where it's just like, this is such a cool game when it comes to all the weird mechanics that are involved because of plays like that.
It's hard to keep track of everything though. Like, flying vision on abilities gets tweaked pretty often, and
there was that one mega patch where vision on spells and projectiles got super nerfed. So we'll see for 430 again. Arrow's going to miss here in the lane. For 430 gets back, and he's going to turn this one around. He's going to throw a stun on the Mirana. Have they got detection? Doesn't look like it. There's a sentry from Tuan, and Mu, he's locked in place, and he's going to be brought down by one more right click. Here comes your Eclipse, but the blink out from Sand King. He manages to just juke him. I think the courier may be getting a bit more vision. King J has a TP, Burrow strikes up, and oh, there we go. He's got
revision again.
Oh, the plays from Faith. Oh my god, I can't even hold all these plays in my hands.
And this is why you get Weave at 6. Like, not only is it amazing now and at level 1, but that vision has done work for IG here.
But yeah, there was which was the patch where they just like completely killed the vision on like any projectile spell?
There was one patch where like a whole bunch of projectile vision changes happened, and then there was also the patch
679, I want to say.
And then there was, but isn't it? I think it's a different patch from the patch where they normalized all the night vision.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. I feel like those were maybe 2 separate patches, but I might be misremembering.
Because it used to be like you could use so many spells just to get vision, like, and then they're like, nope, that's not happening anymore. Crystal Nova from CM, nope, no vision for you. No vision for like so many projectiles.
Dire's middle tower.
Yeah,
is
but all those
under
little
attack.
flying vision things are super important when it comes to things like Roshan, juking at nighttime. So there are changes with a reason for sure.
Dire's middle
Well, T2
tower
Town are going
has
to go down.
fallen.
IG getting further and further ahead. Looking at this
Radiant's
gold
top
grab. It's
tower
only a
is under
2k
attack.
gold lead, actually. So, like, all things considered, 10 kills to 1. A lot of towers in IG's favor. It's not going too horribly for newbies. Morphling does have Lincoln's up now. So, it is a 19-minute Lincoln Sphere. So, hope not lost for just yet for newbie.
Yeah, Newbee are really finding their rhythm as far as the split push is concerned. Like, while it has often been some ill-fated ganks and things like that creating space, they're still at least getting something done in the meantime. And that was the problem with what happened top and sort of what happened mid as well. They got caught in a situation where they couldn't threaten anything and force IG into making a decision. And in that situation, IG just like, yeah, okay, we're going to take the tier 1 tower and we're going to defend our tower as well because you guys aren't in the right position. And that's where all the forethought comes in as well in this kind of game.
Well, Prophet now has his Necro 3 up, so I think this is a pretty big item to have for these fights. Necro 3 actually really powerful against Morphling, just for all the mana burn. And it's impossible for Morphling to come to a fight where Necro 3s are up and they're right-clicking him, I feel. So I mean, Newbee already don't want to come to fights, they want to split push, but this Necro 3 means if IG do go for a just group up and push down the mid lane kind of thing after taking Roshan, it's really hard for Morphling to actually defend.
Yeah, as far as teamfights are concerned, the Chen can, of course, maybe get his hands on one of the Necro creeps, so that's always going to be nice, but, yeah, aside from that, it is nice to have against the Morphling. And, oh, they jump in on top! Morphling.
Yep, they'll use everything for this one. Not there in time to return the favor. There are Necro books up, does go down. I think the Darkseer Iron Shell actually killing that off. Darkseer takes a lot of damage there. Stun gonna be thrown on King J. Cannot disjoint that, and King J will be brought down by IG. Meanwhile, in the trees, Hal, TP out. Don't get the vision for a Lucent Beam. Yeah. He did have the Lincoln still up, so it would have to be a Miscoil plus a Lucent Beam to cancel it.
Look at Chan's inventory right now. Gem, Dust, 4 Sentry Wards. This guy is... He does nothing, doesn't half-ass anything.
This is some, like, Scooby-Doo shit right here. He's not letting anyone get away.
So, Newbee, they get a little bit done there. Moo's starting to catch up. Went for the catch-up Midas as well, which is going to help them quite a bit, I think, as far as the late game is concerned. Things are actually, I think, very even as far as these two teams are concerned in the late game. Like, the Prophet is going to be a big deal because he can buy an Orchid, he can buy a Hex. That's some fantastic lockdown. But Darkseer against Luna is so nice, and Alchemist is likely to build into some auras as well. If this starts to go really late. So the Darkseer's going to do work, the Morphling is farming well, and the Midas on Moo should put him in a good position.
It feels like Luo, like, sure he hasn't died this game, but his farm has not been that scary. He's actually 4th on the net worth, behind 2 of his teammates and the Morphling. So Luo's farm, he had really low CS in the early game, partly because of that offensive trialing. But okay, we'll see what IG can do about it. They can still really just have a scary 5-man. Just the BKB alone on Luo allows them to have a pretty high impact in these team fights. But at the same time, gotta be careful. Xiao with a Blink Dagger means Blink vacuum walls, and that's something which IG could be caught up by surprise by.
Yeah, and Hao is doing such a good job with like playing to the limits of his hero. He just got 4 IG heroes to make their way down bot to try and get a gank on him, but in the meantime, Xiao was pushing out top lane the entire time. So, you know, you don't normally think of Morphling as the hero that's going to be making a lot of space for the other cores on his team, but in this case, the lineup of IG lets him do that.
It's really, I mean, that one case, the escape in the Juke where Chen sent him home near Roshan, that was Moo getting space to get a tier 1 tower and a lot of farm. And Moo suddenly with Midas Phase Boots 1500 gold, he's 0-2-0, has not been involved in a single kill for Newbee, but his farm is still existent. And that's something where he has actually not fallen that far behind IG. Same for the Darkseer. And I feel Newbee are, still in this game. It's going to be tough for sure, but they're still in this one. Chen, Banana's got 2k gold. When someone on your team buys the mech, it's always like, what do you go as a Chen? Like, he may just go for something like a 4-star, but it's such a pain in the ass when you can't buy mech as Chen.
Yeah, it's just a really fantastic item for Chen, and everything else is also good, but the mech is just so amazing. And, wow, actually, arrow on the Luna here. Newbee trying to fight for Roshan.
Almost problematic for IG, but Luo Gets healed back up. Kill this Centaur. Yeah, before Roshan. You don't want any accidents at the Roshan pit. Luo gets himself the Aegis, and well, we'll see how at the bottom lane. He's got 3.2k gold, so not quite at Ethereal Blade. Still needs the Ghost Scepter to go with this, and it looks like YYF going to TP back, deal with the split push, and he always has the option to TP in and meet up with his teammate.
Yeah, and IG, I don't think they have... I mean, they're close to the Manta Stall and the Luna, so they might finish that one up before looking to head up onto the high ground. Ferrari, I guess, is probably going to end up picking himself up a BKB. That is still a little ways away, but as soon as those two items are online, I don't see any reason for them not to at least make an attempt at the high ground here.
And I think you mentioned earlier, like, the Darkseer wall is probably good reason for Ferrari not to rush into that Assault Crest. There's actually not that much physical damage to worry about. Morphling going shotgun's more magic damage, so I think going BKB over Assault Crest is definitely the way to go. As soon as you get that Assault Crest, Darkseer just says, yummy, yummy, more auras for me to try and steal, so maybe not the best idea to go for that anytime soon, or maybe even at all. Maybe just goes BKB into like a Heart of Tarrasque or something.
Yeah, and IG, they're hesitating a little bit here. That's going to give Hao some time to get in position down bottom lane and try and put on some pressure, but I don't think IG are going to be repelled by just split push here, so...
No tier 2 tower even from between. Mu takes a bit of harassing. They drop the acid, force out the glyph instantly. And looks like out come the Necrobook. So they're going to look to mana burn away. The melee Necrobook is still there giving vision. There's your vacuum wall from the Darkseer. Doing a decent amount of damage. Next going to help heal up Faith here. Throws out some Shadow Waves as well. Caught in the Sprout and multiple heroes. Lure with the Eclipse. Brings down the Sankey and the Darkseer. This wall has just not done enough damage. Faith with a burst heal. Helps himself stay alive here. The Necrobook 3, I think it was stolen by the Chen. It's been turned around on IG. Lure does not want to kill it off. Let the creeps do it. Why would you do that to yourself, Faith? As Faith's going to heal himself back up, and the push has been slowed down, but IG can look to just re-engage once his Darkseer wall's down, perhaps. Arrow going to hit Luo. There's still plenty of heals left. They've still got 2 Urn Charges. They've still got Shadow Waves. They've got Arcane Boots to help heal themselves back up as well, so I think this push isn't over. Just because there's ultis on cooldown and there's no Necrobooks right now, IG, I think, is still going to look to go high ground.
Yeah, nothing's changed.
There's an Epicenter.
Some cooldowns have been spent, but...
Epicenter coming in from King J. He gets a perfect vacuum. Burrow Strike. IG just melts. They lose Alchemist and the Luna. Arrow going to hit YYF as well. YYF will go down. No, he won't. The Grave going to keep him alive. Luo, he's now on the run. He doesn't have BKB. He's just respawned. Gets stunned up as well. Prophet luckily TP's out of there, but Faith will not be so lucky. Sand King J keeps his team in the game with a big Epicenter. The one spell that was not used, the one ulti that was not used in that first engagement comes out big for Newbee.
Yeah, that's a massive defense. That was IG probably feeling really sure of themselves. Like, oh, we still got Aegis. We still got everything going our way. They don't have any worrying split push going on. So we're just going to sit here and hit their buildings, and Newbee swat them away with that rank 1 Epicenter. So very nicely done by King J.
The beauty of it was he was smoked. He was, because in theory he was in vision, like, because he was just Epicentering from like right behind the racks, but because he was smoked up, they didn't actually see him, even with the daytime vision. And he caught them completely by surprise, and IG just get wiped up. Really smart play there from King J with the smoke Epicenter. He picks himself up another smoke, realizing how important that can be to win a fight like that. But I think this time IG will be a bit more prepared when they try and go for another push. At the same time, can they even go for another push? There's a shotgun now up in the Morphling. Sanking with a Force Staff to go with this Blink Dagger. Item pickups are coming the way of Newbee.
Yeah, they're getting a lot scarier. The Midas on Mu is creeping him back up towards the net worth charts, and all they have to do is just go back to split pushing right now. Like, IG made a play, they had the opportunity to do that because of the Aegis, but now it just becomes the lane control game all over again.
Oh, wow, at the top lane, he's getting shotgun down, almost goes down. If he got one more right click off before the shotgun, that may have worked, but Prophet will TP home with the help of a Grave, and that doesn't really bother Hao. He's more just looking to apply pressure. Like, it kills nice and all. If he doesn't get one, he'll happily just back off and be on his merry way.
Man, this Necrobook, yeah, how sick of it. He's like, okay,
200
you
gold.
burned all my
okay.
mana. I'm gonna take the gold.
Yeah, he's earned it. He had the magic 1 charges. Hasn't got a replicate up. He's probably like begging for a teammate to come near just so he can make a replicate for an escape. And that looks like Zhao Weight's headed up top. He's got Arcane Boots and Mech help out Hao as well here, but Hao needs more mana to use the full shotgun combo. There we go. There's the mobile fountain coming in from Zhao Weit. Gets himself a replicate as well.
Yeah, so IG are a little ways off the Hex on YYF. That's going to be a nice big pickup. Ferrari probably going to get the BKB. That's very soon, in fact. And they've got the Manta Style finished on the Luna. So a couple of big item pickups about to line up for them. And we'll see if that might be an opportunity to get something done. How, meanwhile, picks up a free tier 2 on the top side of the map. So.
IG does feel like they're slipping a little bit as far as having control of this game is concerned, but they've still got the Tricore. They've still got Luna, Prophet, as well as Alchemist. There's a really solid Tricore. You look towards Newbee. They've really theirs is kind of a dual core. Like, I don't even feel like Mirana's a true core hero at this point. Like, even especially the Manta style, there's not really that much damage output. But the thing Newbee have is a big teamfight presence. Sand King and Darkseer. The two big teamfight heroes, and that's something IG are lacking. They have not got big teamfight presence. They've got two defensive supports to keep people alive with heals and shields, and those two supports have to come in big when Sand King and Darkseer go in.
Yeah, and the one thing we talked about is the power of the illusions from the wall of Replica, but you have to keep in mind as well that you can also use Replicate aggressively and just get your own Luna with, you know, with some drawbacks for the duration of the fight. So it'd be interesting to see if Hal looks to do that, or if he's just going to focus on keeping a defensive Replicate up for the purposes of just jumping in and trying to shotgun somebody down. Because adding an, you know, even like you said, the Mirana's not the biggest late gamer, especially with what Mu has right now. But yeah, the illusions from the Darkseer and the Morphling could be a big factor.
Yep. Well, we've got IG making a move towards the enemy jungle as. It's not going to find too much here. I think they're just looking to get some map control more than anything. They've got the gem on the Abaddon still, which will allow them to de-ward if they move even further up. But Roshan respawning in a couple minutes' time, and that's going to be probably the next big battle as far as the two teams are concerned. If Newbee try and stop IG taking Roshan, considering Newbee on that dire side, I think it's something they do try and make a play for.
Yeah, definitely. And I think IG as well just really want to use the timing that they just hit with the Manta finished, Hex finished, and actually ended up being an SNY for Ferrari instead of the BKB.
Interesting little pickup. I think it's always nice in the Alchemist. Just he benefits a lot from the movement speed when it comes to making sure you get your stun off. And just maximize your damage output as a melee carry here. It's kind of like the same reason you want to get Lifestealer, Sanjin Yasha as well.
Yeah, there's also an argument to be made against BKB, which is that if you pop a BKB, those disables are still going to be used on somebody else. Oh, and Hal? Cut out, but he gets the shotgun off in time.
Doesn't take any damage from the stun as a result. YYF now gets graved up, but he's still actually pretty healthy. Hal now on the high ground. No Lincoln's for a bit. He's going to be helped out by a Moonlight Shadow. Is there detection? Sentryord's coming in as well as a gem. Hal being sent home, it looks like. Need to stun the Chen instead. Chen, great forced up to the low ground. Can Ferrari get up this stun? It doesn't look like it. Stuns himself. Meanwhile, Zhao waits. Hightailing towards the top lane. He wants to start split pushing, and King J's there already. Oh dear. King J gets Iron Shelled up. Prophet, I think, realizing, okay, that's not really actually that safe. No kills in that fight.
Yeah, really nicely done by Banana. Like, it looked like it was going to be a really good initiation from IG. The Prophet came in right as the Alchemist wanted to lob the stun, but fast fingers from Hal saves him from the damage and manages to escape at the end of the day.
Yep. Alright, well, for IG, it's very similar story to game one. Like well, not so much, less of a team having an advantage in the early game. This time around, IG get off to an early game start, take a lot of towers, get map control, but suddenly both teams have lost all their other towers. It's six towers each. IG have a small kill lead, but it's a 0 gold advantage going no team's way. It's a 4,000 experience advantage going Newbee's way, and IG just don't have a way to really break the high ground. If anything, we may see Roshan even being considered by Newbee here if they can push out all these lanes, as they've done a great job doing so far with the Morphling split push.
Yeah, and we've talked about how even the lineups feel as far as scaling in towards the late game. Like, the 3 cores on each team do match up pretty well, and Hal, was he going for the rune? No, okay, looks like he was just getting up there to
they have a gem?
To do whatever.
Yeah, they had a gem.
Yeah, they do have a gem.
So they're just trying to get map control for themselves. Interesting little ward here. I don't know about, like, they already have the one near the Roshan pit, so it's a bit of overlapping vision, but this actually even doesn't even give vision onto the high ground. That's a pretty useless ward.
Well, IG have a gem, so you have to go for the weird and wonderful wards at this point, because otherwise they're just going to immediately
This ward gives vision just at the river, like here.
Yeah,
like,
it's not great. I'm not defending it, but I'm saying if you place a standard ward, it's going to be gone. Oh, move gets jumped.
doesn't get the leap off. Now he's been hexed. YYF with a fresh sight of Vice. Gets the... no, not going to get the kill. Moo gets a TP out. YYF the shotgun preventing too much chase. Ferrari wants Moo, but the send back will save his life. This Chen working overtime. He's making sure that no one on his team has died in like the last 10-15 minutes of this game.
And is it time for Blink Dagger on Chen for Banana? Like, he's already making the huge saves with the Force Staff, I guess. Maybe Blink could help out, but IG actually find themselves right on the doorstep of Newbee.
Interesting. This tier 3 tower looks like it'll go down. Glyph going to be on cooldown soon, and IG, if they can get back here, it's fantastic. Luo does need to be healed up a bit. He's a bit low on HP. He's got 4k gold with a BKB. I think they're going to go back, fall back for Roshan. We'll have to see if Newbee make a play on this one. They have got Dark with a Blink. He's actually smoked up, and that was probably a 2-hero smoke with the Sand King, because they were expecting a high ground push, and last time around, seeing with that smoke, worked wonders for him. And they're going to D-ward near the Roshan pit. I don't think they go for this one. They're going Roshan against Sand King and Darkseer. It didn't work out too well for them last time they tried to teamfight into these abilities.
Yeah, but also really smart from IG. They don't go too far away. They don't TP somebody. Well, I guess there's nowhere really to TP to push out a lane. Yeah, the Prophet can, of course, but everybody else is sticking around. They don't want to get too far away from the Roshan pit. And again, we go back to sort of playing the lane control game. And I just want to finish that thought about the SNY on the Alchemist. The one argument against the BKB in some situations is the spells that they don't cast on you are probably going to get used on somebody else. So if Ferrari just gets tanky enough that he can survive through the shotgun, or he can just soak up all of the stuns from Newbee by being on the front lines, then those are abilities that aren't being used on the supports, and that can be a good thing. So I guess that's maybe part of the reason why Ferrari didn't go for the BKB here, because it's not necessarily clear whether or not he can actually get one shot with the shotgun right now. And if Faith is in a good position, especially with his 4 points up in Grave, there's always a chance for the Grave to go off, the shotgun's being used, everybody feels pretty safe, and Ferrari just heals back up off his ult.
Yeah, I think it's where there's a good argument for like going for like a Heart of Tarrasque after the Sound and Yasha, just to boost up your raw HP. Heart of Tarrasque, one of those great items for sieging high ground as well. It makes you really tanky, and aiming any damage you take, you back off, you just heal up with the natural HP regen. So, in that line of thought, maybe he's not going to go BKB at all this game.
Yeah. Not saying necessarily that it's, 100% correct, but that could be, a little bit of what the plan is for Ferrari here.
But now, IG, they're still farming up well. Like, at some point, this Morphling he's going to have his Manta style. He'll get one more item on top of that, but he can only get so fat. It's going to have to come down the rest of Newbee to start offering some actual damage output as well. The Shadowbladed Ferrari, not going to find too much. The Shadowblade's been a nice pickup. Like, it's helped with a few initiations, but it still, like, doesn't feel like IG are ever actually getting that many kills off of it. Like, they've been 13 kills to 5 for such a long time. The last kill was, like, 25 minutes, like, over 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, well, in the IG playbook, they were thinking that they were going to be upper racks at this point in the game with that Aegis in hand, but Newbee, just through really nice play, managed to repel them with that first tier 3 push, and that's sort of why we've ended up in the situation that we find ourselves now. And the Morphling is getting really, really scary as far as split push is concerned. Like, he's already good at killing heroes, but now that he has the Manta, he's amazing at killing buildings.
So always a hero has to be somewhat dedicated to coming back and defending. And the problem is, at some point when that's YYF, he's got the spammable TP, he's going to just be able to get solo killed by this Morphling. Morphling's damage output is getting to a point where YYF is not safe on his own.
Middle tower is under
sure, he can go something like BKB to help keep himself alive, but if he's popping BKB just to defend lanes from a solo Morphling, it's not exactly a good investment of his money.
Yeah, and what do you think YYF's going to go for here? I think Mjolnir is like the flavor of the month thing here.
Yeah.
You throw the static charge on the Alchemist, that's great. Deso, not bad either if they feel that they can get close to the buildings.
TP'd in, he's going to get shotgun. Not enough damage to bring him down. Immediate replicate out from Hao. I think he did not feel safe there with the number of heroes around, but on the topic of items, Assault Crest I think is, well, I guess your Ferrari's more likely to get an Assault Crest, but what's he actually for too much? I think Mjolnir makes probably the most sense.
Yeah, I think I like the Mjolnir quite a bit here, because they're dealing with a lot of split push, so he needs to hammer out the waves as much as he can, and yeah, the static charge is just fantastic to put in the Alchemist. There's also a chance that your random Maelstrom or Mjolnir proc actually pops the Lincolns on the Morphling, so that can always be a bit sad.
That's true. Alchemist does go BKB in the end, so Decides now's the time for the Magic Immunity, and how? Actually going to sneak himself into Roshan. IG are not really that close. They're not in position to contest this. Roshan, I think, is going down Newbee's way. They're coming in now, but are they too late? Necrobook's leading the way. Roshan already dead, is it? Yep, Aegis picked up by the Morphling. Wrong going to be pushed back. That IG, I think, make a big slip up there. They definitely were in a position where they could contest Roshan, but the problem was Ferrari was at base picking up his BKB. They just backed off just to farm some of these further west neutral camps, and as a result, Newbee snuck in with a waveform from Morphling and finished off Roshan. Roshan was already like on 4/5 HP from the Luna, and that was just a bit too easy for Newbee.
Yeah, and Newbee laid the groundwork as well. They'd gotten top lane pushed out in a pretty good spot, so I think IG were already like, oh man, can we do this? Can we do that? But oh,
Prophet decides on the BKB, not the Mjolnir.
Okay, so looks like IG feel okay. We're just gonna go up and see if we can close out this game pretty soon. So all the cores are BKB now, so nobody's vulnerable to the shotgun.
It's still like Morphling with an Aegis now. Like I don't see them getting racked as long as Morphling has this Aegis, unless they find some good ganks. But I don't think they can just push this fight into an Aegis Morphling. He's just gonna offer too much damage up. We can just go straight in, burst down someone like the Dazzle, even just force BKBs at the start of the fight and then just get himself out of there. Like, forcing BKBs to be used preemptively can also work in Newbee's favor. I feel like G maybe almost just need to farm, just keep on farming until the Aegis is gone, and then Luo will maybe have a Butterfly. We look towards maybe an Assault Crest picked up, the Mjolnir we talked about on the Nature's Prophet. Like, I think they just... I mean, they farmed a lot of this game, but I feel like they need to farm more.
Do you think maybe they feel like they can't? Like, Roshan is only going to get more difficult to defend as the game goes on, so maybe they feel that there's the pressure on them that they have to make a play now. And I guess we were just talking about, like, Newbee probably don't expect IG to be playing up aggressively while they have this Aegis. Like, the tense moment for them was while they were securing the Roshan, and now they feel like they're much more in control of this game, and that's maybe where IG can catch them up. But that smoke doesn't end up getting anybody, so nice defensive play from Newbee, and well, they haven't necessarily gone all in here, but they've definitely shown that they're feeling like, I think IG is showing that they feel like they're the ones under pressure from the split push, and I feel to some extent they're right, because Newbee, the split push is only getting scarier, so Roshan control gets easier, and they can just keep grinding this game out.
Yeah, well, and if we do go ultra late, like, do you feel Newbee actually have an edge?
Maybe just the... I think when we talked about the lineups, we said, okay, like, the two lineups match up very well, but then Newbee being on the Dire, I think, is the one...
I think the matchups late game are pretty even. I mean, there's so many factors to it. Like, I don't think it's just like that, oh, they're straight up even, but I think, like, Newbee have slightly better team fight. IG have more core heroes. Like, they have 3 core heroes who are going to have at least 1 hex between them. You look towards Newbee, where Mirana's becoming a pretty strong core, but they've got more team fight. But yeah, I think the Dire advantage is what gives Newbee the edge late game, assuming this game's even.
Yeah, and this game is just... It's really interesting to watch because both teams are just kind of keeping control of their side of the map. The position of the lanes is almost more of an indicator than anything of what's going on, because both teams, that's what they're vying for right now. But they're also trying to balance the desire to push out these lanes as far as they can with not getting picked off, because everybody is just completely blind. And this is like, again, we touched on it a little bit. When you get ultra late, like, we know everything that's going on and where everybody is, but if you look from the perspective of either team, they're really in the dark.
There's always, especially with the Chinese teams, they'll get a gem so early and often hold on to it for such a long time. It's where getting wards up in mid to late game scenarios is nearly impossible. Anything gets dewarded so fast, especially by the team who's got slightly less map control. And right now it feels like that's IG. IG do not have a single ward on the map. And as a result, anytime they try to move out and put down wards, get some map control, Newbee spot them doing it, and they immediately deward shortly after.
And everyone is just kind of farming away. Golden experience lead is just completely inconsequential for this point in the game. Like, 3k gold, 5k experience. You're better off looking at maybe big levels that have been acquired. The Sand King is unfortunately still close to the bottom of the charts, so he's only just about to reach level 12. Obviously level 16 is going to be a huge pickup for him. Not quite so much for the Chen. I think Banana is quite comfortable to sit where he is for the time being, and
on the Radiant side, I don't think either of the two Radiant supports care too much about their level 16.
No.
Level 3 weave it's a decent upgrade from level 2, but it's not going to be game-breaking. So, yeah, most heroes with their core levels, apart from the Sand King you mentioned, but that Epicenter level 3 is so far away that it's not even really something to consider. It's like, oh, if it was just one more level, he needs 5 levels.
Yeah. He does have quite a bit of gold, so Epicenter and, Aghanim Scepter and Veil, both looking like options for King J here.
Yeah, maybe a BKB even. I guess there's not that much disable and lockdown. Like, it's mostly the Lunar Eclipse you'd be blocking.
Yeah, it's a question of who is going to jump on top of you. Like, the potential most annoying thing is, I guess, like getting randomly clipped by the Prophet ultimate because you're in vision, or Acid Spray or something puts your Blink Dagger on cooldown, but I don't know, I think King J's been positioning himself really well up until this point, so I think he can just maybe look to load on a little bit more damage.
Luna is getting that butterfly up soon, so Luna will be getting close to peaked out, probably one more item after that, and Roshan going to reclaim that Aegis, so no more Aegis for Morphling. So if IG want to make a move, they'll have Butterfly on Luna. I think Luna just straight up bought the Butterfly, yeah. It says screw buyback. Well, at the same time, like, you can farm this buyback very safely. Like, I think buying it now, you know where a Newbee are on the map, for the most part. Like, you can have a pretty good idea when the waves are pushing out, so if he wants to farm buyback now, he can do so pretty cautiously. But
yeah, Ferrari actually ends up splitting the SNY, selling the Yasha, and just buying a Heaven's Halberd. So a little bit of indecision from him as far as his item build is concerned. Yeah, I think the evasion is going to be a pretty big deal.
Well, I think, like you said, they were expecting to have Raxus by now, and that's where the Sanjin Yasha was better early game. But at this point in the game, the evasion helps a ton, especially against this Mirana, who's starting to hurt the Morphling when he's not ethereal, which will happen pretty much right away, because he'll ethereal shotgun someone and then BKB or Manta afterwards. He right-clicks hard as well, so this is where the evasion can help out quite a lot, I think, for Ferrari. I think it's a definite upgrade from the Sanjin Yasha.
Yeah, and right now it just feels like both teams are kind of resigning themselves to the way that the game is playing out. IG get a little bit of an advantage. They're formatting mid. YYF is going to be dealing with bottom lane. The Prophet ultimate used just to keep these lanes hammered out, but in the meantime, top lane has been taken advantage of by moves, so no real advantage gained.
It feels like there's going to be, like Sand King, we talked about items, I think even just boots of travel at this point, so he can back up teammates, help. If someone's like kind of split pushing and needs backup for a gank, or maybe you set a trap, like you look at what Net does for Titan, where he's just hiding in trees, that's where you want to have that boots of travel so you can be anywhere on the map, and I think that maybe he's going to offer more than a Veil. Like, Veil gives you like that tiny bit of extra killing potential, but he's not really solo killing anyone. If he's killing someone, it's with the Morphling or with the Mirana, and at that point, he's there mostly for the stun and the epicenter, not for that extra bit of Veil damage.
Yeah, and there's still super long BKBs over on IG as well. So maybe if things start to drag on a little bit, that's where all of those buffing items for the epicenter become really relevant. But right now, the epicenter shouldn't be doing that much as far as killing the IG cores is concerned.
Prophet has finished off his Mjolnir now, so there's your next big item for IG to go with the Lunar Butterfly. And both those two heroes have buyback, so if they want to march down this middle lane while there's no Aegis on Morphling, they can, but I think IG are probably more interested in the next Roshan. At the same time, we saw how that last Roshan went for him. It did not go their way, so still tricky. Moose actually picked up Lincoln, so
it's more split push. I think it's okay.
I think, yeah, because I think the way he sees it is the only way he's going to die is like a Prophet TP in and hexes him. And this is going to block the hex. Because if you have the Sprout before the hex, chances are you'll leap away before the hex comes. Because the Sprout cast time is pretty annoying.
It also just changes the number of heroes that need to gank him to be able to successfully get a kill. Like, I think with just the items he had before, there's a chance that he dies to only 2 heroes. Actually, TP in from YYF. Is the vision enough? Who's gonna go? Oh, he's out. No, weave.
He could have almost got the hex off there with the weave vision, and the Sand King was below. That was very close.
That was tense.
He had the Lincolns, I guess. No, he can block the hex using the Lincoln, so he would have been safe even with the weave vision. But
and you were questioning the Lincoln's
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
It's entirely for this hex, so he can split push, like you say. More split push, I guess, is good for Newbee. Radiant team use a glyph. Okay, gets him a deny in this mid tier too, but I guess the glyph isn't that important. Like, I don't see Newbee really going for a push anytime in the next few minutes.
I don't know. We're getting to that point in the game where it's like buybacks, glyphs, and big plays. Really.
Yeah. Our KPM is decreasing in the chat while our resident sleeper per minute is steadily increasing as the game goes on. Come on, guys, let's get that KPM back up. Is Prophet going to TP in top? They're actually looking for this Mirana, but looks like Mirana... Leap, Moonlight should have been used. Surely they've got a gem on someone here. It looks like Moon may be a pick-off here. No buyback as well. That could be costly for Newbee. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I get the D-Ward theoretically here on the high ground, and we're going to see a 5v4 push coming in if IG want to go for it. At the same time, maybe they're thinking Roshan here. If they want to secure Roshan, they can do it without Moran on the playing field. They also have to defend mid lane. Morphling's... Yeah. Oh, Morphling, he BKB'd. He meant to Manta.
Oh,
I've seen that. I've seen so many missed item hotkeys today.
Just don't show them. Don't let them know that you... Oh, that's...
He did it in plain sight. We saw the Prophet Hex... well, I don't know if you saw, but Prophet Hex a neutral creep when he meant to Midas earlier. Now Hal pops a BKB when he means to Manta style. I don't know what it is with their hotkey setups, but quite a few mistakes coming from both teams.
And the one unfortunate thing for IG there was that they got the kill, but then they were like, hey guys, where is our creep wave? Yeah. And it was actually all the way back past the corners, so they weren't actually they didn't actually manage to capitalize too much on the Mirana.
They get Roshan, it's good value.
Yeah, looks like they should be able to get Roshan. And it was a fairly short respawn.
Yeah, they're probably thinking like, at least we can force out a buyback. If Mirana buys back, maybe we retreat. No buyback, great, we've got Roshan. And that's something which they couldn't do last time. Now they have Aegis and Cheese. Aegis onto the Luna, Cheese onto no one. Prophet, there we go. And there we go. Morphling going to send in some illusions, and that's his Manta style. So 35 seconds on the Manta style on cooldown, and they may be pushing mid lane. So we'll see these Raxes possibly in jeopardy here, as there is a glyph, but that's only going to buy a little bit of time for this one. Assault Crest picked up for Ferrari, so the big hero to look out for is going to be Zhao Wei with this vacuum wall.
Yeah, and they can't manipulate the lanes to try and get IG to back off. They have to fight them head on here.
It's something definitely feasible for Newbee. This is... Oh, shotgun, just to start things off. Any just chip damage you can do, well worth it. There's still urn charges though, which is the problem, so... He's going to get healed up by the Mistcoil, he'll get Shadow Waved up, and he's going to even lifesteal himself back up. So there's... Oh, maybe too early! Xiao Wei, he jumps the gun with the vacuum, catches almost no one! Lua pops his BKB, the stun going to go flying from the Alchemist, but with no vacuum, this wall is nowhere near as scary. 20 seconds on that vacuum. Raxus get glyphed up here. Ferrari in the front lines. He's got the Mjolnir in himself. He's just trying to tank up as much damage as possible. Going to finally pop the BKB. He waited as long as he could, and now the Raxus is going to go down epicenter from the Sand King. Lua has no BKB. There is a grave. They'll keep him alive just that little bit longer. Damage no longer being dealt to him. They're going to focus their attention on Ferrari. Now they go back to Lua, but he's life sent himself back up. Not to mention the Aegis is still there. Finally, the vacuum wall comes out. But where are your illusions? He's caught absolutely no one with this wall of replica. Only a Prophet illusion is there. Alchemist finally going to go down. Morphling kills off the Abaddon. There is a shallow grave going out on YYF. He's just going to try and fight his way out of this one. Lua now in trouble. He's respawned after the Aegis. The wall may not have been the best, but it looks like Newbee going to win the team fight regardless. The arrow to follow. Down goes your Luna. Team wipe. Ultra kill for Hal. The big bad Morphling just crushing the entire IG squad. Regardless of the Darkseer wall. I think the Sand King really came up big there. Once again, his epicenters and Burrow Strike have just been perfect in these fights.
Yeah, King J died, bought back, and then chain stunned IG to death for the rest of the team fight. That was just very nicely played from him.
How many buybacks have we got? Luna does, Alchemist does, and there we're going to see Luna and Prophet both buying back. Alchemist trying to save his, and it looks like we may have some counter Raxes here. There's no glyphs, and Illusion's going to work here. Still plenty of time to finish off these Raxes if they want to try go for it, but Newbee get a bit scared. I'm surprised they don't... I guess their buybacks are on cooldown on a lot of these heroes, so if they lose someone like the Sand King, it's going to be potentially very costly for them. Zhao Wei's now going to side the Vice to go with his inventory.
This is potentially not too bad for Newbee if they go on the aggressive. Like, you have to think about that last fight in terms of IG. Well, Newbee invested one buyback from the Sand King, but they were fighting against an Aegis and a Cheese, and things worked out okay. And they just got the buybacks out. So despite being down, well, not even a full lane of Rax, they're down the melee barracks. I think so long as Newbee don't give IG the time to like potentially get another Roshan off a little pickoff or get their buybacks back up, then I think this is actually still all right for Newbee.
Yeah, Newbee is still in a position where their Morphling's not getting any more farm than this, really. Like, he can maybe substitute out an item, get some boots of travel, maybe upgrade something, or like sell late game. You can sell something like your, I don't know, your Ethereal Blade for Skadi, but I think you maybe even want to hold on to your Ethereal Blade. But you look at IG, Luna can get one more item with the TP scroll there. You look at Prophet, he's still got another item slot as well if he wants to buy another big late game item. So it's gotten to a point where IG can drag this another 10+ minutes, and they'll get stronger, while Newbee, they kind of reached that peak of their strength. Not to say their peak isn't, I feel like their peak's probably high enough to win this game, but for IG, buying time is not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah, definitely not. So I think IG probably now going to end up being the ones at a slightly more defensive posture, but we'll see if Newbee change their mindset.
Yeah. Next Roshan still some time away, so 4+ minutes on that, and I don't think much will happen in that 4 minutes. I think we'll have to see what happens when the next Roshan respawns. Maybe a team goes for a big smoke gank, but aside from that, I can't see too much happening as far as influential play. Luna will pick up an MKB, doesn't have buyback anyway, so...
So it's Luna pretty much maxed out. Alchemist still has an Abyssal Blade to finish off, so he's got a little bit of farm to grab. You might even be able to argue that the... Actually, I think the Heaven's Halberd is actually really good here, just because the... Yeah, just because the evasion, nobody on Newbee is buying an MKB right now, and while the Morphling does have a BKB, Moo still doesn't, so the disarm could actually end up being pretty useful. I was about to say that you could maybe consider swapping out the Heaven's Halberd for like a butterfly of your own, but I don't know, I think it's almost just as good here.
Yeah, it's really, and I'm not surprised Morphling doesn't have an MKB, but I think Moo's next item almost needs to be an MKB. He's starting to dish out a lot of damage in these fights, and that's the one area where IG struggle a little bit late game with this Luna. Sure, your Luna's 600, but Luna's attack range is very lacking compared to a Mirana with the full 600, and that's where Moo can just kite the Luna around almost if he plays the fight well. And he's got the Sand King stuns and the Chen to help him out to actually do that. And that's where I feel IG kind of, they lack lockdown in these late game fights. Their team fight is just pretty crappy because their only stun is the Alchemist stun and, I mean, Poison Touch kind of, but both of these do not even compare to a Burrow Strike. Like, I'd rather have Burrow Strike than both of those two spells as far as disables go.
Yeah, the plan for IG, just judging from their supports, was definitely not to end up in such a drawn-out slugfest. They were like, oh hey, the Mirana and the Morphling are pretty bad right in the transition to the mid-game. We should probably be able to pick up a lane of Rax off of that, and that'll be the advantage that we use to close out the game. But, well, Newbee played really well, and here we find ourselves in the late game as Newbee try and make it up onto the high ground.
This is your trademark Chinese Dota coming into play here. We've got a proper Chinese Dota 2-game series here between IG and Newbee. DK wouldn't give it to us. They played some unconventional Meepo Dota, but IG and Newbee, they deliver. They give us what we were expecting, and I don't know if it's what we wanted, but I'm happy with it.
It's what we got.
Yeah. So. Look, I mean, I'm about to say it's what I wanted, but then I'd say, well, I'm pretty sure I'll take a Meepo pick any day of the week. But in general, this kind of Dota is what I would sign on for when I'm casting a Chinese Dota game.
Yeah, I saw the Meepo pick and I was like, God, just gonna be going off.
Yeah.
Like, about the Meepo.
It was pretty good. He kind of threw. He went Orchid. That was the worst thing in the world. But we'll see. Look at this fight here. As looks like Zhao wait on the front lines this time. Once again, using his vacuum fairly early. It just means Newbee kind of have to wait once that vacuum's been used if they want to try synergize it with the wall. He's going to wait another 20-ish seconds, and Al gets Hex on the front lines. He actually hasn't got an Aegis here. The burst damage is pretty scary, but 4 stuff out of there. Was that a send? No send back coming into play. And these Raptors just getting chipped away at. This is where late game 4 staffs against Hexes is so dark. King J going to go with the Burrow Strike just on Lure. There is going to be a wall of replica. Catches out the Luna. Helps bring down the Raptors here. Going to be a vacuum back on the Lure. He gets graved up just for good measure, but this is Raxus down and just a wall of replica being used by Newbee, and that's really just no commitment, easy Raxus. They wait 90 seconds and they've got wall of replica again, so that's almost no loss for them. Oh, it is no loss to them.
Yeah, that was very nicely played by Newbee. No commitment whatsoever. They knew they didn't have to, and this is where, I mean, we were touching out in the draft, and that was ages ago, but the fact that IG don't really have a heck of a lot of initiation has sort of come back to bite them a bit. If they were the team with the advantage and they're the ones just 5-manning up to the towers, then that's great, but on the defensive, they just have very few ways to start off a fight. Like, almost the best way for them to start off a fight is to have somebody run in, die because all of Newbee collapse on top of them, and then that person just buys back and they go for the fight. And that's not how you want these fights to be going if you're IG here. Though they do have buybacks up now.
Yeah, they've got buybacks, but like, what else makes these fights go better? There'll be like an Abyssal Blade on Ferrari at some point. The other hero who can maybe buy an item soon is YYF, and I don't think he's upgrading this Hyperzone to an Assault Crest. They've already got an Assault Crest. Like, it's a nice item on Profit, but not to get a second one of, so... The one item that always comes to mind, and I think YYF could consider, is a Divine Rapier. It's the kind of go-big kind of item which they may need in a game like this.
Yeah, could be a possibility. I guess the other thought is as well that maybe he thinks like, oh, okay, this is just going to turn into a massive rat game, and maybe I'll just get an AC of my own so I can go and smack buildings by myself, but we'll see. It's a weird choice.
I feel like it's like Deso would almost be better as far as rat. I mean, I don't think Deso's a good item here, but I feel like Deso would accomplish the same thing as an AC, as far as the minus armor on buildings go. Maybe you get more survivability with the AC, which is the good point of that, but less maybe damage output.
And this is such a grind fest. Like, we're just watching BKB, we're just watching buyback status, keeping an eye on BKB durations, the lane position.
Mjolnir on Treants push lanes.
Yep.
Let's go, Treant. Do some work here. He needs to lead the way. Let's get some zaps. Oh my god. This Treant doing work at the top lane. Can we get... Fought down by Morphling. Morphling ruins the fun. He's got 8.5k gold. I feel like I've seen and casted so many of these games lately. He's going on the high ground, but Hal's back. He had a replicate there who's going to go in, tries to shotgun down Faith. Faith does get off the grave on himself. Wall's there, only going to catch out the Abaddon. There was no vacuum to go with it. Lua's now BKB'd up on the front line. YYF falls to the BKB, misses the Sprout on the Mirana. There was a leap anyways. Now the chase is on. They want Jawad. Epicenter going through with a Burrow Strike, not really doing too much here, and will get the Dazzle. Only one casualty so far. Luo's struggling to actually latch onto targets, and that's where this short attack range of his is really punishing him. On the back lines is Jawad. He's got a Blink Dagger. Can they catch up to him? They will, it looks like. 430 throws a very fast stun, but there's Chen there. Burrow Strike coming back. The arrow going to land on 430 as well. On the high ground, he's taking so much damage. Twine shields him once, but I don't think he's going to stay alive here. There's your Eclipse from Luna. Luna with no BKB, maybe in some trouble. Hexed up is Lure, and that's going to be the death of your Luna. 4, make it 5. They get team wiped. It's a like long drawn out team fight, and Newbee, they persist. They come out on top. These guys are just, you can't kill any of these Newbee heroes in a team fight. They all have so much survivability.
Yeah, they kited them in circles for the BKB durations on all 3 of the cores, and I don't know if you caught it, but right as the fight started and IG walked up the hill and the smoke got revealed, King J hit a 3-man Burrow Strike to start things off, and that just delayed IG's progression up the hill. The wall went down, and then Newbee were able to just run in circles. And here we go. IG forced to buy back, but Newbee with a huge advantage. And Roshan's respawned, so back to Roshan we go.
It really is the chess game that is Dota right now. Like this makes Dota look like chess. When it's all strategic maneuvering, and sure you may win a big fight, but it doesn't win you the game until you truly get that checkmate, which is going to be if Newbee win a team fight while these buybacks are on cooldown, that's checkmate. But if they wait till the buybacks are back up and IG then lose a team fight, well, it's once again not game over. IG try to contest Roshan, but they're too slow on the uptake. They're not going to get there in time. And I think Newbee definitely make a go while they have Aegis, Cheese, as well as these Radiant buybacks on cooldown. It would just be nonsensical not to go for a push. They've got buybacks on their side. They've not only got Aegis and Cheese, but they've got buybacks.
Yeah. Buybacks and BOT buybacks.
So they're going to have like 3 hexes soon.
10 lives?
Look at these hexes too. Sand King working on one. Chen has enough gold for one and 100 gold as well. I don't even think Chen needs to save for buyback necessarily. Like, he's a Chen. But
yeah. I think not having buyback on the Chen would be absolutely fine. But yeah, those 2 hexes are going to be massive. Those BOTs are all online, and Newbee with the slow but sure incremental advantage. I think you have to give props to IG for trying to make a big play there, because as we were saying, they were behind. Like, after the way that things swung back on them after they got the mid racks, they were definitely in a bad spot, and I think that was, you know, a very reasonable play for them to make, to try and go out and force a fight. It was just really unfortunate that it was up that hill, and in a spot where Newbee could just scatter in 4 different directions and kite at the BKBs.
Yeah. Well, looks like the push is now on. Mu gonna leap himself up. He's maxed out with the Aegis at this point. Can look to replace it a bit later on, but for now he's perfectly happy with his item set. Luo, well, no chance of buyback. He needs to be careful. Gets get hit by a vacuum arrow. It catches Luo. Where are your 4-staffs? Anything? Something? He's got this graves, but not gonna need a grave by any means. But that still gets him down fairly low. Chuan shows up, and it looks like the rest of Newbee weren't there. If Hao was there with a shotgun, could have been a different story. Speaking of Hao, 12k gold in the game.
12.2k gold.
I saw 17k in the 100-minute plus game. This is still impressive.
Fortified.
Ferrari cops a shotgun to the face, and that gets him below half HP. He does get healed back up. It's like, pushing into this IG lineup is so frustrating just because of how fast they heal. You have to kill heroes completely if you want to kill them. And the only way you're killing them is if Sankin goes in with burrow strikes. And he does not want to commit when he hasn't got BKB. He hasn't got that much survivability. Sankin knows he's the difference maker. He doesn't want to commit too much to a fight. Ferrari just going to throw a stun and illusion. Make sure he doesn't stun himself. And for now, Newbee playing this safe. They know they're the ones with the Aegis and Cheese. They can just keep chipping on this tower. But if they wait too much longer, these buybacks, what are now 2.5 minutes away, will be online. So they've got to go soon.
But does it matter? I mean, IG have just not been able to find an angle to get into these fights. And Newbee, they chip away, they chip away, they chip away. The Morphling can get sent back home. The BOT's back out. He keeps on chipping away. I think the onus is on IG. And oh, Xiaowei.
Big vacuum, no wall to follow. Xiaowei decides to hold it for a later fight. That'll get them to the tier 3 tower. Ferrari looking for a stun. He's not going to get it off, but does have the BKB up. Now there's your blink. Burrow strike on 3. King J. He's done it again. The arrow going to hit Chuan as well on the side. This is going to prevent him from using shields, miscalls, and the what? Not an Alchemist now going the first hero to take a fall. There's no wall for when they push the high ground. That's going to be stuck down here, but I don't think it matters. There's no glyph. Morana goes up and starts right-clicking away on these Raptors with the Morphling, and YYF kicks another shotgun here. There's going to be just a self-grave coming out from Faith. That means no more graves. Another burrow strike coming out from Sand King. 2 3-hero burrow strikes all day long. Looks like Hao's going to finish off the Nature's Prophet. One more right-click does the job. 3 heroes dead. They're trying to bring down more here. The Luna, the last line of defense, gets shielded up, gets brought down. 4 dead. Make it 5. Team wipe. GG is called. IG lose game 2, and we've got ourselves a 1-1 draw in our 2-game series.
Middle tower. Dire victory.
I don't know about everybody else, but I thought that was a really nice series. Game 2 probably a little bit better than game 1.
Really? I would reverse that.
Really?
I like game 1 just because we got the axe, and I think like watching Luo play the axe was just a lot of fun. But
I don't know. I was a big fan of the whole King J storyline. Like game 1, things go pretty disastrously for him on the Enigma, but doesn't go on tilt, doesn't phase him, and he just jams burrow strikes all game for the second match.
No, I was talking to a few people in the break like about that game 1 with King J. It's one of those things where he comes off in the public looking like he played a bad Enigma game, but realistically it was just an impossible game. Like I don't think you can even fault him for that loss. It's one of those things where from a viewer perspective it looks like he plays badly, but if you were put into his shoes, you wouldn't have done any better. Like even if you put Dendi into his shoes, you put someone like whoever it may be into his shoes, they're not going to do any better with that Enigma, I don't think. But game 2,
it was an extremely difficult game.
1-1, and this I think this is what probably the result most people would have expected in a lot of ways. These two teams very evenly matched. The last time they met was in Star Ladder in the decider to see who went to Kiev. I think did I cast that game with you even? I can't remember.
Yeah, it might have been actually. Yeah.
Yeah, but that was when Newbee got defeated 2-1 by IG, and IG got the second spot to go to Kiev for the Star Ladder Land Finals. But Newbee get a little bit of revenge. They don't get a win here, but they do get a 1-1 draw out of this. And Hao, he gets the MVP. I'm a bit sad not to see King J with the MVP, but I don't know. As big as King J went in
space.
Yeah.
Hao made so much space. Like his team, things were going disastrously in the early game. They got that tier 2 push. They lost 4 heroes underneath that tier 2 when IG found that little bit of an opportunity, and it was so much of Hao creating space that actually gave Newbee the opportunity to come back.
I don't think Sand King actually played the perfect game. He just had the one hero with like AoE disables in a game where no one else had any stuns, so he looks amazing. Because he was hitting 2-3 hero burrow strikes, but look at the IG lineup. They have heroes who all group up. Luna's basically a melee hero. Abaddon has to be standing right next to the Luna because the shield cast range is so small. And then Alchemist is also like melee hero. So those 2-3 heroes were always grouping up for burrow strikes all day long. So I think I almost agree that Hao probably should be the MVP. He played, I think, all around the most solid game. Otherwise, I mean, I think Banana played pretty well in the gen. He made some clutch saves as well, but probably Banana and Hao probably the two standouts.
And that very last fight from Zhao, like, I don't think he was actually intending to go in. He just blinked, Shiva vacuumed, and that actually got 2 BKBs right away. And then they just ran for it while they waited for those BKBs to wear down. So that was a really nice move from Zhao there. Just, I think at that point they'd realized, hey, IG have no lockdown to punish us whatsoever, so we can just run circles around them in fights. And that was a fantastic way to start things off. And a nice way to end out the WPC action for today.
Yeah. Well, a big thanks for joining me as always, Basecamp. Always fun casting Dota with you, especially Chinese Dota.
Yep.
It's good to have someone who shares my appreciation of the Chinese Dota, since no one in the Twitch chat likes it. Screw you guys in the Twitch chat. You guys can all go back to sleep. But that does it for now. Any last words, shout-outs? Where can people follow and support you?
So just the usual, if anybody wants to leave me any feedback on my casting, I'd love to hear it. You can email me at basecampdota@gmail.com. Otherwise, I'm on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, all under the name of Basecamp. So if you want to check out what I'm doing there, that would be very much appreciated. Obviously, thank you, Gods and BTS, for having me on to cast today. And I guess I'll make my one shout out to my team, which is Team S. It's a pretty lousy name, but we're having a good time.
You guys are playing tomorrow in the D2T?
Yes, we are in the Defense of the Australian, so that should be good fun.
Well, if you guys want to watch Basecamp in action, buy the Defense of the Australian Dota TV ticket, or watch the stream. Are your games being streamed?
Yeah, all the games are being streamed.
Nice.
I don't think the ticket is in the store just yet, just because Valve are on their holiday in Hawaii. So, yeah.
Bloody Valve in Hawaii.
Yeah.
I can't complain. They've done so much. But all right. Well, if you guys want to watch Basecamp play, check them out tomorrow. But we've got WPC continues tomorrow with a couple Tongfu games. Not really big matches. I think they take on Hearts Get Together as well as CIS or something. It showed on the stream. Whoops. I need to get out. Panic. I was on the Chinese stream and the Chinese stream crashed. But so there's a couple games tomorrow for that. But we've got the inaugural as well. The group stage, the main event for the inaugural, kicks off tomorrow. So be sure to tune in for that. I think we're starting off with Group B action. Myself probably casting with maybe some games with Lysander, maybe some games with Basecamp here and there, although it sounds like you're busy tomorrow. But yeah, that does it for today, guys. We'll be seeing you guys later. If you want to support me, follow me. I'm at BTS Gods on Twitter, Facebook, and anywhere else, although nowhere else really. You can catch all the VODs if you missed them. Definitely check out that LGD vs DK series. It was a hoot. And if you missed any of the current games, the IG vs Newbee games, also well worth watching. So, more Dota 2 action, guys. I think the inaugural, we've got MVP Phoenix versus Mineski live right now. So, I think Lysander's streaming that. We'll put the stream up here on Beyond the Summit, so stay tuned. More Dota 2 action coming your way. Big thanks for tuning in. We're done for now. See you guys later.